Hi everyone, in this video we will learn how to add Git to an existing project on our local environment. Before we begin, it is assumed that you already have a GitHub account, a code editor, and you have a terminal or command prompt, as you can see on my screen here. You can see extensive documentation on how to add an existing project to GitHub using the command line on docs.github.com. This is the URL where you can read this documentation. Follow the steps, it is very easy and you are good to go. All right. Also, ensure that you already have a repository similar to the project name that you wish to add to GitHub. So I have a repository, my first repo on GitHub, and I also have my first repo project, which I assume is an existing project that I wish to push to GitHub. So with all this set up, I think we are good to go. Back to our command prompt, we need to do a few checks. First, let's look at our Git version. So we'll type Git version to see our Git version, and I can see my Git version here. Next, if you are a new user and you haven't configured your Git profile locally, then you need to run Git Config Commands. So Git Config global, configure your username. So the next step is to type your name here, and this will be configured for you. Also, git config your email and type your email here, and this will be configured for you. For those of us that already have our Git profile configured, you can type git config list to see your Git profile. So here's my Git profile, and you can see my Git user.email here and my Git user.name here. This is already configured for me. Having checked our Git and ensure that Git is working perfectly on your laptop, you can now navigate to your working directory. That's the folder you wish to add to GitHub. So I will navigate to my folder, which is located on dev, under users dev, my first repo. So I'll navigate there. All right, I have successfully navigated to my folder. The first step is to initialize a Git repository. To do this, we type git init, and this initialize an empty Git repository in my folder. So if I go to my folder now, I can see .git folder here for me. All right, the next step now is to check our Git status. Let's see, we'll have a clean working head, nothing to commit, as you can see here. All right, the next step is to set the new remote. To set the new remote, we type git remote add origin and then our git URL. The git URL can be gotten from our Git repository page here. So you can choose this and copy it. So this is how to set the new remote, and you click enter. The remote is now set. You can run git status to see the status of your project. You see that it is still clean and there's nothing to commit yet by typing git remote dash v. So when you run this, you can see verify that you have added git remote to the working project. We can now pull our files from the git remote repository by simply running git pull origin main, and when we run this, we have successfully pull objects from GitHub. And coming back to our folder, we can see the 3 files on our Git repository in our local system. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope to see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye.